right, welcome to the third review of the evening. Yeah, I know these reviews are going quick this week, but we have a lot of small games that aren't very complicated. Um, sometimes that's how it works. Anyway, up this time is a interesting little artifact called Jumpman. Now, um, I do have to mention that no, this does not actually directly relate to Donkey Kong, but I think you can tell where the influence lied just with the name if you know your history. If you don't, Mario's original name back in the original Donkey Kong was Jumpman. And that's appropriate because this game is probably among the, if not the oldest one we have covered so far on the program, because it dates all the way back to 1983. Yes, we are looking at one of the very first platform games. Not the first. It's a bit hazy on what the first platform game is, as these things often go, but Jumpman is definitely very early in the evolutionary progression of platformers. You can tell by a lot. Like, you can tell by the difficulty, by the jankiness, by the it took influence from the more infuriating parts of Donkey Kong, in that if you fall off a ladder or a platform,
if you fall about anything about higher than your character's legs, which is what, 5 pixels,
thereabouts, you die. But it's a bit more dramatic than Mario's death in Donkey Kong. Like, no, you literally take a tumble and then you get the death music playing.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was a glitch or not, but when I tumbled, I accidentally actually collected one of the collectibles once while I was falling off the screen.
That may have been a glitch. Anyway, as for the actual story of Jumpman, there is one, believe it or not. Jumpman sees you taking on the role of an intrepid agent tasked with collecting and disarming deadly bombs laid by the evil alienators, traversing 30 challenging levels of Jupiter's headquarters, running, climbing, and jumping from platform to platform. But watch out, a single misstep will send you tumbling to the ground. Originally released in 1980. Yeah, okay. But yeah, and like a lot of old PC games, this saw release on a number of platforms: Atari 8-bit, Apple II, Commodore 64, IBM PC, and of all things, the ColecoVision. As far as this version goes, it is a emulation of the IBM PC version, since it's running in DOSBox. And so I'm co-hosting or co-reviewing this because I did play about 40 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he played more than me because I was having some really weird glitches at a time when I could not easily communicate, so...
Yeah. So, yeah, the basic premise is to jump, dodge what they call the smart darts. Later levels will have like creatures that will move when you collect the bombs. At least the level I reached. I don't think I got to level 3. No. Also worth noting, when you get bombs, platforms will vanish. So do be aware of that. But
yeah, there's a lot. The routing, honestly. So this game allegedly has speed selections somewhere. The manual I found while I was looking, because I initially tried to play this with a keyboard because I didn't have a joystick. So I assumed that it would work with a keyboard, but I couldn't find a button on my entire keyboard to... Just a second.
Yeah. So yeah, this game...
Sorry.
It's fine. Okay, so outside of the weird glitching that Galix experienced, I suppose the question is, does this game hold up? as we ask a lot of these classic games that we cover for review. And I'm gonna
If you
say
want any audio, no, because the only audio you get is bip 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 when you walk and da 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 when you die.
yeah, that's Chopin's funeral march, by the
Yeah.
way. Like,
Hey, at least I got audio working in DOSBox.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, the audio is a real reflection of the IBM PC, and that's not a good thing because look, audio on the IBM PC was usually really fucking terrible.
Square wave speaker, homies.
Yeah, built into the computer.
Yeah, not even like 1, 2 channels, I think.
Usually one,
Yeah,
two
and
if you
like
were fancy.
yeah, I mean we're talking about a time before fucking AdLib. Like I like just for the auditory sensations. I really wish they had ported any other version.
Yeah, most of the I was looking up about this game, and a lot of the stuff says that like the C64 version is significantly better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just on the premise of basic audio, yes, because the C64 had that SID chip, which produced good music.
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
But yeah, you jump and climb
Mm-hmm.
around the stages, collect the bombs, and then there are 30 stages, so there's not a lot, but you're getting thinged on time, and you have one hit and you die, and the main enemy in the first stage at least is 1 pixel. Yeah. So it's kind of easy to miss.
Yeah, in terms of its gameplay and mechanics, it's at once very reminiscent of Donkey Kong, with but its jumping is, I would say, better than Donkey Kong.
When I got it to work, when I was using my joystick, which I like my Xbox One controller, it worked surprisingly well.
Yeah, and like the jumping is not what you really need to worry about most times. I'd say the biggest issue is getting the on the first stage the corner bombs that are being, that I think I had to do a different kind of jump or make sure I jumped up.
Because yeah, is this a glitch or not? You can walk off the edge of the screen and die.
Yeah, no, that is not a glitch. That is
okay. Because I got some glitches where like my feet got stuck in the ground a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I assumed that wasn't intentional, but I didn't know what else was or wasn't.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, the level design is also very reminiscent of Donkey Kong.
And not only because there are red, it's magenta girders.
Yeah, I'm like, but it's all girders and ladders. I know it's supposed to be a fucking space base, but even in 1983, this wasn't a really good representation of a space base.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in terms of what's gonna trip you up isn't the jumping necessarily. It's gonna be the level design itself, because it goes for this orthogonal alignment more often than not, and that'll trip up your jumps if you're not careful. Also, you'll note the lack of a giant gorilla in anything Jumpman related. That is because instead, your primary foe is going to be the smart darts, which kind of home in on you. Kinda.
They go in a line around the edge of the screen. If they become lined up with you, they turn towards you 90 degrees. And then they go, if you dodge them, they go past you and I think go to the other edge of the screen, but then again, if they become lined up with you again, they will come back.
Like, honestly, if I had to recommend a really early PC-born platform game, I would probably recommend Lode Runner. Like, I think Lode Runner is just a better designed game. Plus, it doesn't have the hideous fall damage.
Though it does notably lack jumping.
Right.
beyond like 1 square.
I mean, it's still better than Jumpman here. And you can purchase Lode Runner Legacy for not too much money on Steam. Granted, Jumpman isn't exactly running for a lot these days. Let me get the right window here. And let's see. Because this is running for $1.99. For $2, sure, why not? Even if you get like 10 minutes of gameplay out of it, like it's cup of coffee territory here.
Right.
That being said, on the grand scale of Pixel Game UK's classic offerings that we've covered on the show, I would definitely rank this below Bounder. I'm really surprised at how well Bounder held up. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but from something from that
and some of the ones I've done have aged a lot better than this too.
I'd say Jumpman. This is one that, outside of the DOSBox issues, this is one that hasn't really survived the test of time, unfortunately, and sometimes that happens. Right. I'm sure in 1983, this was definitely a fine game. Took advantage of what was available at the time, especially since it didn't have Super Mario Brothers or Ghouls and Ghosts or Pac-Land to use as a template.
Plus, it was working on hardware that it was like compatible fully with, instead of running in DOSBox and dealing with way better speaker hardware.
Right.
Like this is like ear-splitting tones of music sometimes. But if it was on a muffled internal speaker, it probably wouldn't bother you as much.
Yeah. I mean, that's that good old PC internal speaker, and its ear-grating sounds. Anyway, so anything else to say on Jumpman here?
Not really. Thank you for helping, and sorry for having to drop for a second. My parents need to talk to me when we're done.
It's fine. Right, so that'll about do it for Jumpman here. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review Justin Whack and the Big Time Hack.